Hello everyone, I'm Jonathan and I'm thrilled to announce that I'm back on the Risk of Rain team as our community manager. I'd love to take some more time with a reintroduction, but we have some huge news to get to, so let's jump right in. Today we've released an update that addresses more of the bugs you've reported to us. That includes tackling some of the larger reported issues like the overabundance of elites. Full notes are linked in the written version. In addition to that update, we'd like to share our more holistic plans for Seekers of the Storm. Our ultimate goal is to build Seekers of the Storm to be something that can be celebrated by the community for years to come. Over the next few months, significant changes will come to Seekers of the Storm. The updates that we're exploring are expansive, so they won't happen overnight, but the scope of the changes should underline the seriousness that we're approaching this challenge with. We plan to release these changes in 3 phases. Phase 1 is going to be items and elites, Phase 2 is going to be the False Sun boss fight, and Phase 3 is going to be the survivors. Some content people already love. Stages, survivor skins and Sale Star are all parts our team are particularly proud of, so beyond bug fixes, these will remain largely unchanged. The rest of Seekers of the Storm is where we're focusing. The feedback that everyone has sent so far has been a huge help. It's already shaping the coming design updates and is helping us get a better grasp of the bugs we're still facing. The fact that so many of you have reached out with the thoughtful ideas has been humbling. As we move through these phases, please continue sending us your feedback. The best places for that are the Risk of Rain Discord or our official support website. As more feedback comes in, everything is subject to change. We want this to be a collaborative effort that you're all part of. So while the changes we will lay out are the improvements we're planning right now, those plans may change in service of making more polished content. With that, let's take a second look at each phase more closely. So let's start with Phase 1, items and elites. Apart from Sale Star, all the new items are being changed. In some cases, like with Sonorous Whispers, the items could simply use a tweak or a rebalance. For others, the old uses were somewhat limited, so they've been completely redesigned. Overall, our goal is to redesign the items to feel more transformational, make the new items fit into the existing build synergies better, make some particularly weak items more powerful, and re-establish a better balance in the item pool between defensive, movement and damage items. With the elites, the plan changes are every bit as significant. We found that Twisted Elites could offer a lot more room for counterplay. Depending on the items you randomly receive in a run, it's possible that you're guaranteed to die if a Twisted Elite spawns. Risk of Rain 2 can be punishing, but when it is punishing, it should always be in ways that feel fair and provide space for players to overcome those challenges. The core principle of encouraging players to focus fire on a single monster is still really compelling, so we're rebuilding Twisted Elites to give players a chance to dodge that incoming damage. Gilded Elites are quite healthy. When a Gilded Wisp decides to float over you, it tends to just hang there stealing your gold while you go on a marathon to take it out. The changes we're working on will retain the gold stealing mechanic of Gilded Elites, but in ways that are more interesting and provide the space for counterplay. Their health multiplier is also being knocked down a few pegs. With Phase 2, we'll be tackling the False Sun boss fight. As we get closer to these later phases, we'll have more details on our specific plans. For now, we just want to ensure you have an overview of our thinking. With the boss fight, we're aiming to make the boss abilities clearer and fairer, prevent the False Sun from attacking through obstacles, move the location of pillars for better blocking and coverage, rein in some of the ancillary damage sources like the number of golems and lightning strikes, and rebalance the overall encounter, including damage and swapping flat armor for adaptive armor. During this roadmap phase, we're also planning some changes to Scorchworm and Halcyonite, but we'll have more details for that when we get closer. In Phase 3, we'll work on survivors. All 3 survivors will see large improvements, but Chef is getting a lot of attention. Chef could be a lot more powerful and feel a lot more streamlined. So while we're rebuilding his kit to be more elegant, we also want to buff him overall. All of Chef's abilities are being revisited, but the 2 that stick out the most are Chef's primary and secondary, Dice and Seer. With Dice, we want to allow players to throw cleavers with reckless abandon like Chefs of yore. With Seer, we're making sure the ability is more agile so that you can quickly use it and move on with your culinary adventures. The False Sun should feel like an unhinged construct creation. After all, that's just who he is. But there's still a lot of room for polish. On top of cleaning up the overall kit, we want to make a handful of design improvements. All of his abilities are changing, but a lot of focus will be making Lunar Spikes and Laser of the Father feel more impactful. We'll have a lot more details when we get closer. Among the 3, Seeker seems to be a clear favourite. While she's receiving some changes, they're more targeted than the other survivors. Overall, we want to increase the value of her Tranquility stacks, so each one should be more impactful. We're also keen on bringing the resurrection capabilities she delivers in multiplayer back to single player. We'll let the team keep making improvements as we go through these phases, and we'll give you more details later. And that's what we have for you today. This is a huge undertaking, but one the team is very excited about. We also want to thank everyone for giving us the time to put together a holistic plan. We know that you're eager to see what's in store, and we can't wait for you to jump in. In the meantime, today's bug fixes are live, and you can find the update notes in the written dev diary version. Until next time, the Risk of Rain team.